Okay.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We have a meeting with a man who's become a friend of mine, and we've known each other for a little while, and some very interesting times. And we get along. Our countries get along very well. We have a great affinity for each other. And the Chancellor has been very well received in Germany. He's a very successful man, became the Chancellor of Germany, which is a big deal. And he's doing a very good job. In my opinion, a great job, very popular. And the relationship that we have in trade and everything else has been very strong. We've been able to do our deals, and it's been very strong. We'll obviously be talking a little bit about Iran today, and he's been helping us out. We've been very nice, actually. And that is coming along, as you see, very well. They have no Navy, it's been knocked out. They have no Air Force, it's been knocked out. They have no air detection, that's been knocked out. Their radar has been knocked out. And just about everything's been knocked out. So we'll see how we do, but we're doing very well. We have a great military, and they're doing a fantastic job. So we'll be talking about that. And we're talking about some very big trade deals, and those I know will work out too. So I just want to say it's a great honor to have you at the Oval Office. The beautiful Oval Office, beautiful White House. It's a special place, even from your standpoint, and you have some very special places too. And I look forward to being with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for having me here in this Oval Office for the third time now.
Yeah.
Really happy to have the opportunity to speak with you in these challenging times. We are on the same page in terms of getting this terrible regime in Tehran away, and we will talk about the day after, what will happen then if they are out. We have to talk about our trade agreement, which I would like to be in place as soon as possible. And we have to talk about Ukraine. There are too many bad guys in this world, actually, and this is an issue we have to talk about. Because we all want to see this war coming to an end as soon as possible, but Ukraine has to preserve its territory and their security interests, and well, we will talk about that.
Right. We will.
Looking forward to that.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you
That's some
for your
interesting.
hospitality. Thank you for letting me spending the night in your guest house.
That's right.
Very, very
Good.
comfortable place.
Well, you liked it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great place and a famous place.
That's
All
good.
right.
Very
So
famous.
many former presidents.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very famous place. Any questions, please?
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did that not pull the United States into this war?
I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people, people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready and we were ready, and we've had a very, very powerful impact because virtually everything they have has been knocked out now. Their missile count is going way down. Amazingly, they're hitting countries that were, let's call them neutral, right? They lived together for a long time. I think they were surprised. I was surprised. I think and now those countries are all fighting against them and fighting strongly against them. Someday they'll write a story and they'll say why they did that, but they hit countries that had nothing to do with what's going on. They were sort of leaving everything alone. All of a sudden they had missiles shot in, which shows you the level of evil that we're dealing with. They'll hit people that were actually at least somewhat friendly, and they had no problems with it. Also hitting only civilian places, hotels and apartment buildings, and we're hitting them where it is much more appropriate. We're hitting them very hard, and the big scale hitting goes now. They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left. And so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt. These are bad people. These are people that killed. I guess it's 35,000. It's coming out 35,000 over the last 3 weeks. Protesters, 35,000 violently killed. So these are bad people. And the leader of the pack is gone. And as you know, 49 people were taken out in the first hit. And I guess there was another hit today on the new leadership. And it looks like that was pretty substantial also. So they're getting hit very hard, and we'll see what happens. A lot of people are coming forward. A lot of the people you would least suspect want to quit. They want to have immunity. They're asking for immunity, and probably at some point they'll be dropping, as you would say, laying down their guns. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're just continuing to go forward. Our military is the #1 in the world by far, and we are. Everything's big in my book. Venezuela was big. This is big. The original hit, Midnight Hammer, was big. Everything you view is big, but it's not considered very big by some standards, by some of our standards. We have a military like no other military that's ever been built.
Mr. President, what's the worst case scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have them very much beaten militarily from the military standpoint. They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they wouldn't be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. They built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of them. They've shot a lot of them, and we're knocking out a lot. I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. That would probably be the worst. You go through this and then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who was no better. So I'd like to see somebody in there that's gonna bring it back for the people. And we'll see what happens with the people. They have their chance, and we've said don't do it yet. If you're gonna go out and protest, don't do it yet. It's very dangerous out there. A lot of bombs are being dropped. But I would say that would be about the worst.
Do you have someone in mind right now? Because you said all the people you did have in mind have been taken out. What do you think?
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group, they may be dead also, based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave coming in. Pretty soon we're not going to know anybody. But we have, Venezuela was so incredible because we did the attack and we kept government totally intact. And we have Delcy, who's been very good. We have the whole chain of command, and they've been, look, the relationship's been great. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil already. And a big part of that goes to them and a big part goes to us. And it's been great. We paid for the war many times over, and we're going to be running the oil. And Venezuela is going to make more money than they ever made, and that's great for the people. The relationship has been great. It's been seamless. Nobody's actually ever seen anything like it. If you look at Iraq, where very stupidly everybody was fired, the generals were fired, the military was fired, the police were fired, the fire departments were fired, and all of the government workers were fired. So after, people would call, they had no idea. And by the way, ISIS was formed. That's where ISIS came from. All of the fired people. We don't believe in that. So we'll see what happens, but first we have to finish off the military.
Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, is he an option at all in your mind?
I guess he is. Some people like him, and we haven't been thinking about too much about that. It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that. He looks like a very nice person, but it would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person. But we have people like that. We have people that were more moderate. These were radical lunatics, and you know what they get? They get nothing. All they do is kill people.
What exactly was the imminent threat?
Not your turn. Not your turn. please.
Mr. President, are you going to take the heat off the Europeans to potentially help you? Mark Rutte called on the allies to also help you.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to ask Mark Rutte. He said not as part of NATO, but to be helpful to you in this.
Well, some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been great. He's been terrific. Others have been very good, terrific. I think that the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Okay, Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly. And so I told them, we don't want to, Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
What is the expectation for what's
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made, for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we were very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Mr. President, what's your expectations towards Germany? What can Germany do and what should Germany do to help you in this one?
Well, I think they're doing it. I mean, they're letting us land in certain areas, and that's, we appreciate it. And they're just making it comfortable. We're not asking them to put boots on the ground or anything. I mean, we're just they're a respected country. I have a very good relationship with the country. We have, in particular, now with this leader, with this new leader. I think he's an excellent leader. I had my differences with Angela. I said, "You're hurting your country with immigration, and you're hurting your country with energy." And we have a man sitting on my right that is, I think, pretty much the opposite of her on energy and the opposite on immigration. And I think he's doing very well.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and when are you sending planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others. You're seeing that right now. And a lot of those missiles that are hitting it, those are stationary. Those were aimed there for a long period of time at these other countries. So I think I was right about that. We attacked first. And if we didn't, it could have been, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated. And if we didn't, and by the way, we have massive amounts of ammunition. We have the high end. A lot of it was given away stupidly by Biden, very stupidly, for free. And I'm all for Ukraine, but they gave away a lot. As you know, when I give away ammunition, everybody pays for it. The European Union's paying for it. Then they can do what they want with it, but they are giving it, let's say, to Ukraine, and it's okay. But we gave away a lot of high end, but we have plenty. But we have unlimited middle and upper ammunition, which is really what we're using in this war. And we have really an unlimited supply. We also have a lot of the very high end stored in different countries throughout the world. We're literally storing it there, which is actually something that I insisted on in my first term. I rebuilt the military in my first term. The military is great. Unbelievable amount of ammunition or munitions, as they say. We've given away to, the Wall Street Journal incorrectly covered the story when they said that it was given away to the Middle East. Not to the Middle East, it was given away to Ukraine. Very little was given to the Middle East. Middle East would buy a lot, and some of the nations, because they're rich, they have a lot, but it was given away to Ukraine. And it just should have been done. Look, it's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, that war would have never happened. But we have a tremendous amount of munitions, ammunition at the upper level, middle and upper level, all of which is really powerful stuff.
Mr. President, a question to both of you. How worried are you that the rising prices for gas and oil are damaging the American economy and also obviously?
Yeah, do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. This is, of course, damaging our economies. This is true for the oil prices, and this is true for the gas prices as well. So that's the reason why we all hope that this war will come to an end as soon as possible. And we are hoping that the Israeli and the American army are doing the right things to bring this to an end and to have really a new government in place who is coming back to peace and freedom.
Yeah. Something had to be done. And it's been 47 years. They've been killing people all over the world for a long time. They were the kings and fathers of the roadside bomb. Soleimani, we killed him last time. If we didn't, I think it might be a different story today. They would have been much stronger and smarter than they are. But they did the roadside bombs. 95% of the people lost their legs, arms, had their face wiped out, just wiped out. I've seen some young people that it's so sad to watch. And that was almost all, 95% comes from Iran and with Soleimani. Soleimani loved his favorite weapon. He loved the roadside bomb. And when you see people walking around with no legs and no arms and a face that's been blown to hell, these people, what they have to go and the way they have to live, this is Iran. When you look at the barracks, the famous barracks, when you look at the hostages, when you look at a lot of hostages, when you look at all of the problems, they were really a purveyor of terror all over the world for many, many years. And it's something that had to be done, and I believe that if we didn't, because I see where Congress, if I didn't do this, guys like Schumer, who are losers, the Democrats, they're losers, that's why they're not here. Guys like Schumer would say, well, you should have done this. In other words, if I did it, it's no good. If I didn't do it, they would have said the opposite, that you should have done this. But most people feel, I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Good. So, Mr. President,
Go ahead, please.
Mr. President.
Yes.
How do you want to solve the conflict on tariffs between the EU and the US in this process?
Between who?
The conflict on tariffs between the EU and the US. How do you want to solve?
And US and who?
EU, European Union.
How do you want to solve?
Well, we won on tariffs, actually. Somebody said you actually won the case. We won on tariffs. We had a decision that was wrong. It was a very bad decision from certain standpoints. From other standpoints, a very powerful decision because it reaffirmed all the fact that we have all these various forms of tariffs that we felt right, but it totally reaffirmed it. It said you can use all of these tariffs. So we have all these vast menus of tariffs, and tariffs have made our country very rich. We have to charge tariffs to nations who play with their money. They move their money up and down like a yo-yo. We have to take care of nations that have been good to us and fair to us, and we're going to take care of them. Other nations, they haven't, and we haven't let them take advantage of us. But the whole thing with tariffs is we had a decision that, like, as an example, we have a license situation, and the license is something that allows us to immediately stop all business with, nobody even knew we had this power, but we do now because of the decision. We have the right to stop all business having to do with a certain country. If a certain country is not treating us well, the president, without going to Congress, has the right to stop. Sort of interesting. I have the right to stop, but under that one law, I didn't have the right to charge them. So I have the right to license them, but I don't have the right to charge, which is frankly ridiculous. But the right was given to us by the Supreme Court. And we have the right, as an example, we talked about Spain. I could tomorrow stop, or today, even better, stop everything having to do with Spain. All business having to do with Spain, I have the right to stop it. Embargoes, do anything I want with it. And we may do that with Spain. What do you think?
Well, sir, I think we're going to talk about it with you. I know that you have a strong tower, clarify. We know you can use it, and if you need to use it to assure national and economic security, we'll do it.
Scott, do you have an opinion?
Sir, I agree. The Supreme Court reaffirmed your ability to implement an embargo, and as we've talked, from your first term, the Section 301s and the 232s have withheld more than 4,000 lawsuits, and USTR and Commerce are going to begin investigations, and we'll move forward with those.
And we've instituted the 15% tariff on everybody, as you know. And just used, I'll tell you, we had a couple of paragraphs written in that opinion that were really incredible. Justice Kavanaugh wrote a fantastic dissent, but in his dissent, he said what we should do, and we knew that too. We just wanted to simplify it, and for some reason, I think, very, very foolishly, the courts decided no, but they said you can do it many other ways, and that's what we're doing. And what we've done is we've gone to a very simple, straight 15% tariff. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in our country because of tariffs. So we've taken in all of this money, hundreds of billions of dollars, and honestly, it's made us very rich as a country, right? So it's been doing good. When will you have the full plan implemented? We have a 5-month period, up to 5 months, where we can go at 15%. And while we're doing that, as you know, we're doing the various studies and things, and we'll be coming out with tariffs, different tariffs on different countries. You want to talk about that first?
Yes, sir. By the time the 5-month period has elapsed, we've taken investigations under Section 301, which Secretary Bassett talked about. We know there are countries out there with deals who are very interested in keeping the deals. We need to go through and investigate all these unfair trading practices, the kinds of things you talked about, and make sure that we're protecting U.S. economic security. We know there are countries.
How are we going to treat Germany?
Well,
I think you should hit them very, very hard.
Geneva is right there. They have expressed an interest. Germany's been quite constructive in wanting to move forward and be helpful. The rest of you will talk to them as well. But obviously,
I will say every single country wants to make the deal they already have. In other words, a deal that we have using the other authority, they want to make the same deal. And we'd like to see, actually, we're going to adjust it somewhat upward, actually, but they all want to stay in the deal, and so we'll probably be able to do that pretty easily.
Ukraine, after all, Iran won't be able to deliver drones to Russia anymore. So what does this war mean to Ukraine? And having Chancellor Merkel sitting next to you, who would you call if you want to talk to Europe? And Chancellor Merkel, you've just been in China, the president.
Who are you? What country are you from?
I'm Germany.
Okay, I thought so. I could see.
So, Mr. Chancellor, you have been in China. And the president
She likes you.
in China.
I don't know.
Will you be talking about China as well during this visit?
We'll be talking about China, yes.
And what about Ukraine?
I'll be going to China in a little while. Every time you meet, you talk about China. We respect China. I do. We both do, I think. But it's always a topic of conversation. We've had a very good relationship with China. We used to lose a tremendous amount of money with China, and that's no longer the case. We have a very, very good relationship with China, and we have a very good relationship with Germany. All right.
So what about Ukraine?
Thank you, Mr. President. We've seen countries around the world, many of whom don't usually work together, working with the United States on Iran, whether it's, Saudi Arabia working with the United States, Israel, Qatar shooting down Iranian aircraft, and we've also seen European countries step up. Why are we seeing, such unity around the world against Iran?
That's a great point. Look, they're just evil. They're, it's not the politics, it's their whole philosophy, it's their whole, where they come from. It's terrible. Where they killed 35,000, I thought it was 32, now it turns out it's much more than 35,000 people. And in some cases using machine guns with people that have no weapon, and they're being machine gunned, they're being sniped from buildings, they're hitting the people with snipers right through the eyes. It's just a very evil ideology. And nobody's really seen anything like it. As I said, even the fact that they've attacked all of their neighbors, and the neighbors weren't attacking, they thought that maybe sit it out or what. They've hit Qatar, they've hit UAE, they've hit Saudi Arabia, they've hit Oman. They were helping us negotiate. They got hit. Everybody got hit because they're evil and they're bad. It's a bad seed, and somebody had to do it. And it should have been done sometime during a 47-year period because so much death has been caused by them. So much unbelievable death. From Germany too. Germany's been hit. Everybody's been hit by them. It's an evil ideology. And I've never been, look, I've done a lot of good things. So many people are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. You see it in the streets of Los Angeles. They have thousands of people. I saw it the other day, pictures of Donald Trump. And I'm looking, I'm on the phone, probably talking to you. And I'm looking, and I see my picture, I say, oh no, it's another, protest. I see my picture. And then I started saying, boy, they were very friendly people. And then I saw a woman hugging the picture of me. I said, what's going on? And it turned out to be, these are Iranian people that live in the United States.
So many.
Thousands and thousands. You saw the rallies. And in New York, too, they had a big rally, my pictures all over the place. The fact is that people are happy what we did. And you could never, and I've always said it, you could never have had true peace in the Middle East if Iran was allowed to go, even beyond the nuclear. If Iran was allowed to have look at all the missiles they built. A lot have been now taken out by us, and a lot have been expended. But they had thousands of missiles in a fairly short period of time. And I'll go two things. The attack that we did, known as Midnight Hammer, had we not done that, Iran would have had a very powerful nuclear weapon within 1 month. We did it. It was great timing, but, and you've been able to see that too. The other thing was Barack Hussein Obama made maybe the worst deal I've ever seen, because he gave all power in the Middle East to Iran. He went the exact opposite way, and I terminated that. If I didn't terminate that deal, they would be sitting with a massive nuclear weapon 3 years ago, which would have been used already on Israel at least, and other countries also. And we wouldn't be talking about it right now. But if I didn't terminate the deal that Obama made, giving them everything, including plane loads of cash. You remember the airplane flew over there? It was a Boeing 757. There was 2 of them, loaded. They took out all the seats. It was loaded with green cash. So much cash that it was in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. They got all the cash from all the banks. They put it, and they flew it to Iran. I never knew a president had that power. I'm going to maybe try it sometime if it's okay. I think I'm going to do it. I'll fly it somewhere. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. 2 planes loaded from floor to ceiling. Big planes, Boeing 757s, taken over there and given cash. In addition to that, he was giving them billions of dollars. But worse, he was giving them the right to have the path to a nuclear weapon. And that deal expired. A lot of people said, oh, you terminated. Well, it was going to be terminated anyway because it expired. It gave them the right to have top-of-the-line nuclear weapon. If they had, because they're crazy, just like the people on my right during the State of the Union. I looked at them, I said, you're crazy? these people are crazy. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it. All right, how about one or two more? Go ahead, please.
Chancellor Merz, you just heard that the president is thinking about punishing Spain. What are your thoughts spontaneously on this, and what can you do to,
Well, the answer on that is quite simple. We are trying to convince Spain to catch up with the 3% or 3.5%, which we agreed on in NATO. And as the president said, it's correct. Spain is the only one who is not willing to accept that. And we are trying to convince them that this is a part of our common security, that we all have to comply with these numbers, and this is 3.5 for military and another 1.5 for our military infrastructure. So Spain has to comply with that.
Spain has been very, very uncooperative, and so has UK. Now the second one is shocking, but this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that stupid island that they have, that they gave away and took a 100-year lease, having to do with perhaps indigenous people claiming the island. They never even saw the island before. What's that all about? And they ruin relationships. It's a shame. It's and that country, UK, and I love that country. I love it. My mother was born there. I love it. My mother was born there. My father was born 19 years old. About my father. My father was born there. So, you know, there are places that you sort of automatically very feel warmly about. But the UK, what they're doing with energy and what they're doing with immigration is horrible. You have the North Sea. Somebody said yesterday, what would you do if you were in the UK? Open up the North Sea. They got windmills all over the place that are ruining the country, ruining the landscapes, ruining the beautiful fields. Open up the North Sea. It's one of the greatest. Think of it. They buy their energy from Norway, which gets the energy, the oil, from the North Sea. So Norway drills in the North Sea and sells it to UK. And UK has a better part of the North Sea. Open up that, and number two, illegal immigration. They got to solve that problem. And I must say, that's not only UK, that's other parts of the European Union that have the same problem. Immigration and energy. The energy is through the roof, the highest in the world. And the immigration is, I mean, you know, look, you have places where in the UK, you have a terrible mayor of London, terrible, he's an incompetent guy. But you have Sharia courts. You don't have Sharia courts, you don't want Sharia courts. You have Sharia courts adjudicating law. So it's very simple. Immigration, very importantly, immigration and energy. And you bring it back. Otherwise, you're not going to bring it back. Okay. One more, go ahead.
I have a question for the Chancellor.
Yes, please.
To the Chancellor, Chancellor,
Yeah.
you've called for unity and joint force in this moment against Iran. What does that look like to you? And then, Mr. President, where is getting a deal with Russia and Ukraine on your priority list right now?
So we, as I said in Germany the last 2 days, we are supporting the United States and Israel to get rid of this terrible terrorist regime. And we are looking forward to a day after, and we have to talk about the strategy. What is following after this regime is away, and we have to strategize on this entire region. And we are having a high interest in common approach and common work and what we can do. And this is important not just for the Americans. This is extremely important for Europe and extremely important for Israel and their security. So we are really looking forward to find ways how to deal about the day after.
And as far as Russia, Ukraine, where is it on my priority list? Very high. We thought that, I thought it was going to be one of the easier ones. I've settled 8 wars, and actually maybe one more than that. But minimum 8 wars, big ones, potential India, Pakistan, big wars, very important, big ones. I thought this was going to be much easier than it is. There's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky, tremendous hatred. I've seen a lot of hatred in my life, but I think this is about top scale. I believe it's going to happen. Sometimes I blame one, sometimes I blame the other. I think it's going to happen, but it's high on my list. Not in that it affects the United States so much, because it's very far away, but last week, last week and for the last 4 weeks actually, 32,000 soldiers died. 32,000. And it's been averaging 25 to 30,000 soldiers a month have been dying in that stupid war. And I'd love to see it ended. It's the worst that there has been since World War II.
If you can't get a deal, what will that mean for you?
All you can do is do your best, you know. It takes two to tango, and they have to get along. They have to be able to talk to each other. They hate each other a lot. That has an impact, you know. It really has an impact. It's bad for both. The saddest is that if the election weren't rigged, my election, that war would have never taken place. And you know what else wouldn't have taken place? Allowing 25 million people to pour through an open border. That wouldn't have taken place. A lot of things would have been different. But we're doing very well. And I think a big factor in this world, and future factor, is what we're doing right now with Iran. If we don't stop them, or if we didn't stop them, or if we didn't start, they've been decimated. But if we didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war, and they would have taken out many countries. Because you know what? They're sick people. They're mentally ill, sick people. They're angry. They're crazy. They're sick. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, he took a lot of questions, which is great. Wow, he took a lot of questions. I was happy about that. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. You guys, when we ask you to hit the like, that's to support the live stream so that it'll go out to the algorithm. We respect that we have a president that's a badass, pretty much, that he has pop things that he's doing that I'm totally in disagreement with, but then he has things that I am in agreement with. So the way that he's handling this situation, I guess, since, you know, of the bombing, he's showing force, and he's showing that the United States does have the strongest military in the world. So at this point, we cannot show weakness. So I am happy that he is not a weak president. You know, I believe that if Biden was still in office, he wouldn't have taken this stance. Remember, they hightailed it out of Afghanistan, allowing over 13 servicemen and women to lose their lives and to leave billions of dollars worth of equipment there that has been used against different parts of the world, including Americans. So we are really happy that at least he's taking a stand. Now, we don't have all the intelligence, so we don't know why he felt like the need before allowing some of the American citizens that were in Dubai and different parts of that region to evacuate. So that he said that he didn't know that things had taken place was going to happen that fast. But you do want to give American citizens, wherever they are, a chance to get out so that they're not caught up, especially in, you know, with a war going on. So the thing about it is that they felt that the need, and Iranian people are celebrating. The majority of them that are here in the United States, the majority that are in that country, that they're happy. They are literally saying thank you. Now, of course, everyone is not saying thank you, but it's a considerably a large majority of the Iranians that are really thanking President Trump. So it has me like, you know, they live there. They know what's going on, and they're caught in the middle of the regime, and I guess they have to now do a replacement because a lot of the top officials were killed in the, you know, in the blast, the bomb blast or whatever. So they lost a lot of their leadership. So where do they go from here? And what does it mean for Americans? Like the question I proposed, do you expect oil prices to rocket because of, you know, Iran? And I think what is it, like 66% said yes, like 34% said no. I think prices are going to go up. Prices are going to go up because there's going to be consequences, and then they try to bomb Saudi Arabia, some of the oil fields, which, we've been getting oil from them, and we do have Venezuela. So Trump said that everything is about energy. No matter what, energy is very important. So we don't want prices to go up, and what's happening with inflation. So this is going to be something that Trump and I guess his advisors are going to have to figure out. But what we want is safety around the world. You don't want, hostile countries having nuclear ability.
Someone said that they don't like Americans.
Well, some Americans don't like other Americans. So that's here in this country. So inside the United States, there are Americans who don't like Americans. So we don't agree with everything. But what we're doing is showing what's happening at the top. Like, we're not making these decisions. Everyday Americans are not making the decisions of the president or the vice president or Congress. We elect officials to work on our behalf, but when decisions are made, they're making the decisions. And just like in the other countries, what the Iranians are going through, the citizens, what happened in Gaza, the Palestinians, all these countries, the people are the ones who actually suffer because of the decisions of the leadership.
Hey, that's why we got Marco Rubio.
Yeah, of the leadership. So we, only thing we can do is just pray that they make the right decisions on our behalf. I prefer us to be more focused on what's happening here in the United States of America. We have our own problems, but we've been given the banner around the world to solve world problems. So United States has never had the luxury of just focusing, because we're the strongest power in the world, to focus on our problems. It's like we take on everyone's problems.
The only thing is we do not want Iran with a nuke, though.
Yeah, so they felt that there was their intelligence. We don't get the intelligence that the White House receives. We don't have all of the information. So what the information that they received, they felt as though there was a dire need to act before the Iran act first. So whatever, I'm quite sure they're not going to share everything with us.
Yeah,
Like you look at movies, like these 5 movies, they don't, we don't know half the stuff that's going on. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, because that's how you support the channel. We have to build the channel back up because everything goes out by the algorithm. So the way that they are going to show this, like we were down a few weeks, then we lost the algorithm, then YouTube stopped sending the live stream out like they normally send out. So we're depending on people. We're not asking for monetary contributions. But if you do feel like giving them, that's fine. But the way that you help our live stream and our channel to grow is by hitting the like. It really matters, especially now because they have changed YouTube. YouTube has new rules now, how you receive viewers, and they do go by the interactions on the chat, and they go by the likes. So if you want to support Speak the Truth 2.0, it doesn't cost you anything, but just we're asking, if you've been to this channel, if you're new to this channel, if you like this, us being authentic and us just being real, we're everyday citizens. We're not politicians, but this allows us to have discussions about how we feel about what's happening, whether the good, the bad, or the ugly.
You're going to be a politician. But like Trump said in a recent press briefing that he was the one,
in the camera.
like he suggested in a recent press briefing, like he's the one who said that it would suggested bombing Iran is what he said. So he knows something that we don't know about Iran and stuff.
Yeah, so that's hard to come up with. Like, should they had, dropped these bombs? Should they have went after Ayatollah? Should they have, made the moves that they made? Like, we don't know, because we might not never know, because we don't have the briefings. We don't have them telling us what they're going to do. And besides, like the way that what Trump's been doing that has not been in the past, he acts without Congress, because they're saying you're supposed to have congressional approval, you're supposed to do all these things, but then the enemy know you coming. So you're not going to have the same result if the enemy per se know that you're planning on acting, then they're going to prepare. So when Trump goes in, he like going in like a sniper. He doesn't want, because he know Congress going to leak. There's going to be people going to link stuff. People are paid off. All that stuff is real life. You know, you got cells hitting, you know, that's giving information to other countries and they don't know who it is, like Night Agent. You know, we watch all Night Agent and all that on Netflix, House of Cards and stuff like that. So you don't know who's friendly or foe. But he doesn't go in like normally like they do. Trump like going in quietly and hit, and that's what he's been doing. Now they are going to have to answer the Congress, because the Democrats are totally upset about it, because he's not supposed to act without the congressional hearings and their approval. But if you do all that, then how are you going to be successful? She was saying exactly, Elijah.
And she said like a thief in the night.
Yeah, like if I was running things, that's how I would want to do it too. I don't want them to know I'm coming for you. Then it's not the same impact. So he's moving strategically, really is beneficial to the American people. So I don't know how long this is going to go on, but he's saying it's a problem with England because they haven't been really supporting this. China doesn't support it. Russia doesn't support it. The African nations doesn't support this war. So a lot of the United Nations, I think they're coming together saying they're in support right now, but I don't know how many are agreeing. He said he is going to meet with China, but China, President Xi said, you know, they went at it. They do not like them attacking Iran.
Okay,
so.
her man, I could talk if I want to, and for your intelligence, increase your intelligence. I'm the one who actually was the Republican first, and my mom.
Look, I was campaigning. You look at my videos. I could put up receipts with me with everybody that you can imagine. So I'm in the rooms because I've always been an activist and an advocate, and I represented hundreds of thousands of people as a legislative director. So I've been in those rooms. I've been in all those rooms, from Nancy Pelosi to Obama to Biden to everybody you can think of. I've been in a room with them and representing. So
you could thank me because I've contributed to this.
Yeah, I was told straight down ballot Democrat, not looking at policy. Yeah, I was one of them, the 93%. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, they call that insanity. I don't want to keep hearing promises from the Democratic Party and they're not doing anything for the American people. Their focus has now now their focus is on illegal immigrants. They wouldn't even stand up at the State of the Union, which spoke volumes about supporting Americans. I'm like, what kind of bull crap is this? They wouldn't stand up for supporting American citizens before illegal immigrants. And they sat down. They would not stand up saying they support. How are we going to elect you into office and you won't stand up saying that you support American citizens? What kind of... That was it for me. I think I'm going to do a whole show on that, showing them sitting down, and they're showing you the Democratic Party, and it's by their actions. They have put the illegal immigrants first. They are illegal. They broke the laws that we have to follow. I can't go around breaking laws in this country. You have to follow the laws of the land, whatever country you reside in. Those are facts. And they're trying to say, well, people are innocent and not innocent. Well, let them go to the prisons. Let them pick them up there. This way they're not in the communities. But if they come across you, they're going to send them back home unless you leave accordingly on your own with $1,000 and a free plane ride back, and you'll be put at the top of the list to apply for citizenship. So you're going back to your home. So is nothing wrong with that, but we can't just act like them opening up the borders. They put us more in danger because there are people here now that are inside the country that can do damage because of the Democratic Party. So I have a problem with that. We believe in legal immigration. We believe in people achieving their certificate of naturalizations. And see, when you give things to people, that's why they don't respect us now. Because they've been allowed to have free housing, free education, free healthcare, free cars, free. They didn't have to work for anything. They came with the clothes off their backs. But in today's time, these damn Democrats won't fight for get Americans, homeless Americans off the streets. But they fight tooth and nail for them, and they're standing down to the needs of American citizens. We are not their priority. I have called Congressional Caucus. I have called the NAACP numerous times. And I like speaking to the head. I don't go to the peons. I want to talk to the presidents. You know, they're not doing anything. I'm talking to the other people, and I want to talk to the president of these people. I'm probably going to do a whole live stream on it because they're not representing. You know, all these different people are not representing. And the reason why I was talking about the national, the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus is because 93% of Black people vote for Democrats that are only giving us twerking during elections and no policies. That needs to stop. Everyone, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, from this point moving forward, they have to earn our votes. They have to show us respect. And all those immigrants and people that enter this country that are prospering off of the backs of Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, that they want to throw their behinds up the kiss, but they're benefiting from the civil rights bill that because of us, y'all need to be sending us every thank you and showing us the utmost respect. And all those stereotypes talking about Black Americans, we work hard. We are not lazy. We built this country. So show us the respect. But this household, we're about Americans. America first. All Americans. And until the Democrats stand up and they can say they support Americans, then well, I'm not supporting them like that. I do have friends that I know that support that senators and all that. They're in my phone, you know, and I know what they stand for because I got to know them and meet them and looked at their policies. But that doesn't mean straight down vote Democrat or straight down ballot with promises and no actions. When the last time they visit one of our prisons with our prisoners to see the conditions? But y'all gonna run to a detention center and make sure they got air conditioning, they got this, that, and the other, while the people, that American citizens, their rights are being violated in prison. They still have rights. Everyone, if you're in there paying for your crime to society, you still have rights that are given to them to do their time without being raped, molested, killed, murdered, all that stuff that goes on. They still have rights. They're paying the price for their crimes. They're paying the price. But everybody turns a blind eye to those conditions. So until the Democratic Party can stand up saying they support Americans, then, you know, I'm watching. I'm not supporting that. I'm not supporting that.
And they're also for too many things that's against our beliefs.
Yeah, they too, and like my son said, tell them what they're against. That's not all, but the reason why I start leaning more towards the Republican Party is because of, you want to tell them?
You can.
Because of abortion. I don't want at the DNC, which I have been at the DNC on the floor. One time when I went to Democratic convention representing, you know, I have never seen so much news coverage in my life from around the world. Every politician, everyone who was there. I got to meet so many people. But at that last Democratic Party convention, they have a Planned Parenthood vehicle, whatever, out there giving abortions. I'm not for that. Yeah, that's not. They ran on abortion.
And Kamala kicking the Christians out and said.
Yeah, they ran on abortion. I'm not supporting you running on abortion. Like, that was the most important thing. Women can take birth control and they can close their legs. They don't need to be out there deleting babies. Okay? That's too much. And plus, I'm not into same-sex marriages. You have the right to do whatever you want to, but that don't mean that I'm going to agree with it. I'm not into children that they're taking kids and transitioning their gender. They're not even old enough to smoke a cigarette, to vote, to go to a club. They're not old enough to do anything, but you're going to transition a child
They've done a lot.
and cut their body parts? No.
I remember Biden having day of visibility on
Yeah,
Easter.
day of visibility on Easter, God's day. So I don't like morally. I'm a Christian first. I don't believe in that, let alone the other stuff. But until I see those type of changes, I'm not going. I'm a campaigner. I canvas. I have groups of people like canvas, phone banking, all that. Have people calling all around the country. I'm connected. That's what I do. But I'm not doing that again. I did it for Biden, did it for a lot of campaigns. And have spoken, have given speeches to thousands of people, all in all kinds of rooms with leaders, top leaders, giving speeches and all that kind of stuff. That's what I have done. So, but now I might have to run for office. You gotta have people, I don't want to, but you gotta have people that are about American people, honestly. Because we all have to do well. We got to set aside our differences, our racism, and all those isms, and we got to work together because it's getting serious right now. There's a lot that's going on inside this country. So anyway, I'm sorry, you guys. I just, but I expect more. What Trump has done, the people are happy. What he did in Venezuela, with the capturing the president of Venezuela along with his wife, the people celebrated because they were suffering. So the people of the country, they're there. I've never been to Venezuela. Most definitely never been to Iran. So they know more than I know. I'm looking at the reaction of the people. So if the people feel as though a weight has been lifted off of them, then what can I say about it? So until I hear differently and more come out about the siege and what's going on, then right now President Trump is he's depending on his intel to give him the right information to make the right decision. So you're only as good as your people that are around you. So hopefully he's getting the information correctly, so when we take action that that he's able to take proper action. So that's the only thing we can hope for, because you have all these people in his ears and everybody always have their own agendas. So he has to be careful. People that haven't been elected to office, they in his ear. And they tell him all kinds of stuff. And if he's trusting them, they can be setting him up for something negative, So hopefully he'll be able to have some discernment to have the right people. You guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe to Speak the Truth 2.0. Go to my channel, Speak the Sports, and Pray to All Here. Those are two other channels that I need to be working on. But I got to build back up Speak the Truth, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's good he has someone.
You come here.
It was good he has someone like Marco Rubio, because he does like all the.
You need to talk into the camera. Yeah, so I think Marco Rubio, he seemed to be solid. He seemed to be solid. So, but he has other people that aren't elected into office that's writing his speeches and doing things that I'm not in agreement with, that have hatred in their heart. So that's not too cool. But anyway, we're going to talk about, I'm going to do a video on about J.D. Vance. Like, do you think he's going to be the one that's going to be the nominee for the Republican Party? Or do you think it'd be Rubio, Marco Rubio? Like, who's the best candidate? And what do you feel about him? And how do you feel about his wife that I think that she's Hindu or something? Yeah, so that's different for the United States of America, but it's a lot going on. And I'll tell you right now, I do not like J.D. Vance. I think he's smug. I don't like him. Something about him, I really don't like him. So I'd rather have say Marco Rubio run with Tulsi or someone, have a strong woman, someone like that. But I'm not feeling J.D. Vance. He's too, I'm not feeling him. Like, he seems like he's more for just one part of America. We need the next president to be for all Americans. We can't have a president, because we got too much going on that continues to divide us and want to put a section of people over here, another section of people over there. We need to stand one nation under God as a whole. But I think that he he's going to continue separating us and keep having these race wars and things like that with an Indian wife that's light. If you look at pictures when he first ran with his wife Usha, it looked like her skin is being lightened. Like she's darker than me coming in. Now she's getting lighter and lighter with every interview. I don't know because people of that ethnicity, they like to lighten their skin. So it looked like there's a process of her trying to be white or lighten her skin tone. But he married a woman of color, so he can't get around that. So I don't know if she's gonna wind up sitting in the White House, but her skin is getting lighter and lighter since she's been in office. Yeah, he's been in office. Her skin is getting lighter and lighter.
I guess I just went.
And nobody should be trying to lighten their skin, huh?
I guess I just went vote because I don't see myself voting for JD.
Well, you guys see who's running. Anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to come back on. We want to get more stories, not just showing Trump in the meetings. I like doing the meetings because it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth before mainstream media gets hold of the interviews and then they do their own spin. This way you can decide for yourself what to believe, what not to believe before it's manipulated by the media. So anyway, you guys, thanks Endure. Thanks Endure. We really do appreciate you. We got to get some more moderators because I know I'm trying to see people who've been consistently coming back on. If you have any suggestions, Endure, when you're on there, if you see people consistently, we trust your judgment. If you see someone that else can be a moderator, huh?
I wouldn't say that's true. If you saw what JD Vance said recently to people that they don't have to apologize for racism that Black people went through.
Yeah, JD Vance is deceptive. What did they say?
No, this one. They said JD Vance does not separate America.
Yeah, he does. JD Vance is, what's this one about? What does that say? JD
Vance is a deceptive, word games playing deceiver.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is. That's exactly who he is. He's very smug. He's very intentional. He stands with Turning Point USA and just the statements that he has made and all of that. It's a lot. So I need someone who's going to run in 2028 to be the president of all the people and not a president of divide and not a president that think because the color of his skin that he's above everyone else, because God said he's no respecter of person. God did not make anybody above someone else. Okay, he made us all in his image. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Don't forget on your way out, please hit these likes. We've got to build this channel back up. I'm used to getting hundreds of thousands of views. We have had over 18 million, right? We do, like we've been saying for a while, to bring people on that, and do, just other people that we can go back and forth with. And I'm going to start another channel, but I got two others to work on.
You too, Sherry, no problem.
Who is that?
Sherry said, have a great day, you guys.
Okay, maybe she could be a moderator. We need more moderators. I don't know if she consistently come on.
Yeah.
But I don't see sometimes the live, the people that's on, but I want to get some more moderators. What?
I don't know what that means.
What? Black owned? Well, saying Black owned is not saying anything. That's why God says speak in a clear, concise manner. If you're going to say something, you have to be explicit of what you're saying so people understand what you're saying. Because
context.
Yeah, that's not enough just to say that, because God most definitely has given us our own. We're very much independent, so we could take that so many different ways. But we're not, because we're not going to entertain them. But anyway, you guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. Tell people about Speak the Truth 2.0. We are authentic. I am going to start perhaps using a teleprompter only to make it, just more professional. I like just being raw because everybody, that's what they do. They're not talking to you. They're talking through a teleprompter. And I don't think that that's being real. So... yeah, we want everybody to walk together. That's right. We got to stand together. Either we're going to come together willingly or whatever's been loud in this country for the last 4 years. They're going to bring us together one way or another. Because we're not used to having to deal with world issues inside of our country. We're not used to like what just recently happened. I forget what city, when you had the person that shot up everyone. So the statements that he was making on his shirt, he was from Iran. So we're gonna stand together one way or another. We're going to have to help our neighbors. We are going to have to stand together. We're living in a different time. Everything that you see on TV and stuff is here now. You're looking at the foreign countries and the things that's happening over there. They're here now because of you can thank a Democrat for that. They open up the borders for votes. Really put this country's safety in jeopardy. It put us in jeopardy, and they know the FBI, CIA, they said Homeland Security. They said they know something's going to kick off. They just don't know when. They know it. They've been saying it. They know, and they got people they can't find that are hiding in this country. You got the Democrats fighting for them. So it's crazy right now. But
dude, saw you on a last stream, and you saying that we talk a lot when you come to this channel and talk every single time.
Well, anyway, you guys, smash the like. He likes the channel. Welcome to Speak the Truth 2.0. My name is Cindy. The co-host is Elijah. And we just thank God every day. And we just hope that this country is moving. This is just March the 3rd. A lot has gone on since the new year. You know how you wish each year for a better year? It's been a lot jumping off. So we just hope that things get better as we move forward. Better economy, better inflation, better opportunity, more jobs. And we got to stop fighting one another. Period. We have to. We make our own decisions. Make your own decision. Don't be so loyal to a party. Look at what the party is doing. You got to look at policy and what they're doing for all Americans. And that's what's important. Just because you disagree with a party you represent, that's not being disloyal. That's saying I don't agree with everything, because you're human. You have your own mind. So you don't have to go along to get along. If something is wrong, call it out. If something is right, then say, I agree with this. Because even though we showed Trump, we have shown that we don't agree with everything, but when he does do great things or wonderful things, then we say we agree with. Everybody's not just, black and white. It's like, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. When it's good, call it out. It's bad, call it out. And that's how it should be. But the Democrats won't do that. When I saw they couldn't stand up for the State of the Union for Americans that put you in office, what kind of crap is that? They couldn't stand up for America. How you not gonna stand up for Americans that elected you into office?
That's crazy.
That's the craziest thing I saw. They like, we standing 10 toes down for illegal immigrants over American citizens. That's where I draw the line in the sand. You can support illegal immigrants if that's what you want to do as elected officials, but you should not put them above American citizens.
Whatever Republican is running next time needs to show that them not standing for.
They need to do a commercial on it with them not standing up. You don't want them treated a certain way. What about how Americans are being treated? What about how Americans are on the street? How about vets are sleeping on the streets? How about that they're not being fed Americans? How about they need mental health care? How about they need housing? And every time Americans need something, not for you. No, not for you. We're going to take care of the world, except for the American citizens' taxpayer dollars that you're using. No.
They rather pay the Taliban to pay illegal immigrants than Americans.
Than Americans. Americans need $6 a day for SNAP, and that's a problem. But they're going to take our money and take care of 14 million plus illegal immigrants that enter our country with the clothes on their backs. But when Americans need help, then they don't want to give you nothing. Nothing. Have a catastrophe. Have a flood. Have a fire. You know what happened in California, the Palisades, or North Carolina fires? Americans are sleeping in tents. They didn't have housing for them because the FEMA money went to the illegal immigrants. Are you aware of that? That's insanity.
Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully things will get better. That we can get a government that will focus on, and that's not saying not being concerned about the welfare of others. That's saying being concerned about the welfare of the citizens that you represent. That's what that's saying. And that's not too much to ask. And we shouldn't have to ask to take care of our own. I don't want to go walking down the street in a city and they got a vet that's living on the street begging for food and money. That's what goes on in the United States of America. Or American citizens can't get the same housing and stuff that we're giving to people. Mind you, we said we didn't have the money for it, but somehow we could take care of 14 million people, and they didn't even want to close the borders. They still want the borders open, and I believe if they get back in the office, they're going to open up the borders again.
Well, it's about right now with, and see what Trump is doing with illegal immigrants, because you could also say how Obama, when he was in office, got rid of illegal immigrants as well. They used to call him like the Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Obama deported more illegal immigrants than any other president and got no flack about it. He put kids were in cages. Got no flack about it. Millions of people he deported. And now Trump, he can barely get anybody out the country, and everybody fighting him tooth. No, Democrats are fighting him tooth and nail. So you have to make that make sense. Make it make sense. With no problem. He had concentration camps. They didn't have no detainment centers to their specifications and all this. He did it with no problem, and none of this stuff that's going on now was going on. But when he was getting illegal immigrants out of this country, it wasn't Venezuela that emptied out their prisons and other countries that empty out their prisons. When Obama got rid of over 3 million illegal immigrants, now we got people, all sorts of people here, and you got to fight the Democratic Party tooth and nail to even get Kilmar, what was his name? Kilmar Garcia out of the country. After we spent $5 million for judges and he had hearings and they told me, oh, he needs due process, but it was costing United States citizens at that time $5 million. Now it's probably costing us around $10 million with one person. One person. And they brought him back. They had to go fund me. Now he rich. He's him and his family. They doing better than you are as Americans. The ones fighting on. The legal immigrants, they got single homes, driving luxury cars, got businesses that you can't get. How does that happen? Y'all better check what's going on. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe to Speak the Truth 2.0. And you have to take care of your house. Just like you go to China, they're going to take care of their house. Russia going to take care of their house. Europe going to take care of their house. Africa, the continent of Africa, they're going to take care of their house. Everybody's going to take care of their citizens. And America, just like any other country, needs to take care of Americans. And nobody can not say that America has not been a giving country, because we give to the world. But right now, the Bank of America is closed, and you have to take care of your own citizens. What's the point of electing you and y'all making promises to the American people that you don't keep, and you put all your energy and effort into people that have broken the law, have entered the country illegally, but then you won't represent the people at all who voted you into office at all? You're not trying to do anything. When the last time they talked about housing and having better schools and food programs and interest rates? But they don't even talk about the things that affect American families. But y'all want our taxpayer dollars to take care of the world.
That's because they don't care about the average American, because they
don't care.
Houses and mansions.
Yeah, they millionaires.
Yeah,
they don't care about.
And
they talking about how rich Trump is, but all those politicians are millionaires at this point. They all have made money being in office. So the salaries they're getting, they live in large. So they're not like you and I. Their health care, everything is taken care of. Their benefits are like amazing. So we got to do better for American citizens. Don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe to Speak the Truth 2.0. And hopefully you guys are realizing that you are getting the truth here. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It is what it is, But we need our government to focus on the welfare of the citizens that they are supposed to represent. And those are American citizens. That's who they're supposed to represent. Then you take care of everyone else. But it's not like that. The Democratic Party totally represent illegal immigrants, and they have disconnected themselves to representing American citizens, and that's a problem.
Look at all these Democratic mayors like Brandon Johnson.
Yeah, Brandon Johnson.
Downey.
Yeah,
Change.
they don't care about
representing
Americans. Y'all need to be focused on putting people in office, not according to power, but according to how they're going to improve your family's living conditions. What improvements are they going to do as far as your employment, as far as your raises, as far as interest rates, inflation, as far as opportunities. Those are the things that matter. You want living wage jobs. You want jobs so you can send your kids to college. You can take your kids on vacations, that you could buy a summer home. You want jobs that you can enjoy this American life.
Wow, someone made a troll account trying to act like YouTube to get us off the live stream. I guess this is hurting your feelings.
Who is it? And get that
YouTube Human Resources Department. You want to read it?
What? Oh. God is good. That's all we got to say. And we are so thankful to God. God is good. Just look at where it's coming from. Well, speaking the truth and just talking about what's happening in this country or whatever is a right, freedom of speech. So I don't know what that is.
I'll check the count. On account now.
Okay, yeah, check it out. Well, anyway, you guys, I have an appointment. We're going to try to jump back on here, and we want to dive more into what's happening right now in this country and how it affects everyday Americans. Like, I want to talk more about the issues that are going on, talk more about how it affects us as everyday citizens and what can we do to improve our standard of living. Because right now we got AI on the horizon that's going to affect more jobs. We got the dollar devaluing. So we have a lot of things that are going on right now that we need to be focused on, because within the next few years, jobs, employment they're going to reduce employment because AI is taking over.
Wow. They got 4 subscribers. Just report that account.
Go ahead, you can report it.
Or get rid of them.
Yeah, get that.
I'm trying to just get us to sign off.
What do you want to do?
Whatever, up to you. You ban that account.
Go back, ban it. Well, anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. God bless you. Don't forget on your way out to hit that like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, because we will, if you want to talk to us, we will answer your comments, because the stream goes down and we can't read all the chat and all that, because it'll be thousands of people that's been in the chat. But we will respond like once the video goes down. Leave us a comment and we'll address you. We can address you in the comments.
No one said that we don't like America. And how about you?
How you get we don't like America? That's all we speaking of is for Americans.
It's always the people that say EBT are the ones actually on EBT living in welfare.
Well, you know what? Anybody get EBT, God bless you. Because people need help because of the high cost of food and everything. I wish to God I could get EBT or something like that, especially since my taxpayer dollars pay for it. But it's not an embarrassment because so many people need it. It's a program that's needed, and more Americans need to have access to it. And that's a fact. So whatever's going on in your life that you can't step. One thing that people have to realize, it doesn't make you bigger if you think you could try to make people small. You can't dim a light. I'm a light. God said, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. You can't dim a light. I'm a light. So it doesn't matter what you say. You can't make other people smaller to make you appear bigger. And people try to say things because of their own insecurities, and because they're cowards and they have problems in their own life. You need to try to do better and be better. That's what you need to do. And hopefully if you have kids that your negativity, because you're acting like children when you act like that, hopefully that won't rub off on your children.
Yeah.
And they should be embarrassed to have adults, because everybody on here are adults. This very few
Yeah.
children are on here. So I expect you as an adult. God said when you was a child, you spoke as a child. When you become an adult, you're supposed to put away childish things. Be an adult. That's all. Just be an adult. All right, that's all. Be an adult. So anyway, you guys, I got to jump off because I got to get out of here. God bless you. Thank you, Endure. Thanks for joining us. We'll try to jump back on later on. And don't forget to hit those likes